We're flat fired up, you guys. We have a reason to be. This company has taken the heavy lifting and all of the roadblocks. They've removed them, and they've allowed people to join this company that is going to be, I think you're going to achieve remarkable results. So, guys, we're going to cut some of the pleasantries short. We are very, very glad you're here. Thank you for announcing your names and where you're calling from. We have a very, very special guest on the call, and I'm just going to get right to this individual. I had the privilege, my friend Mia set up a call with the CFO, of Divvee Social, Derrick Schutz, and I've told you guys a story about how impressed I was. Only one time ever in my life that a conversation in a business setting was ever equaled, and that was with some high-level people in a company called Berkshire Hathaway. When I got on the phone with Derrick, I became absolutely bulletproof. I was wowed. I was astounded, and I was so grateful he took some time for us. So he's absolutely slammed. He said he would get on here and spend a couple of minutes with us. So, Derrick, are you there?
I am here, yes.
Beautiful. A little anticipation there. I'm glad you made it up. Derrick, I know the office is cranking. We saw the video that Darren put out with you guys. Just busy, got your heads down. Thank you for being here. So, Derrick, if you don't mind, and if there's somebody on the speaker side, please mute your phone. Press *6, it'll mute you. Or just mute your phone. Thank you. Derrick, I know you're slammed, and you got a lot going on. But that afternoon when you called me and I was able to talk with you, you and Mia combined, after that call, you messed up my head really, really, really bad in a good sense.
Well, good.
So, Derrick, thanks for being here. I'm just going to ask you if you'll address the group tonight in this kind of the same way you did with me. And then if you don't mind, we have a couple of people going to ask you just a few quick questions and get you out of here because I know you got a lot going on. But, Derrick, I ask you, what are you doing there? Why are you there? You put your reputation, your business acumen, you brought everything you've accomplished over many years on the line at this company. So if you would share with everybody, what are you doing there? Where do you see this going? And then I ask you, where does the money come from? So if you can address those for us, Derrick, that would be great. I'll shut up and I'll let everybody listen to your eloquence, brother. Go ahead.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Putting way too much confidence in me. My background is accounting. I've been a CFO for 23 years. And along that, I learned how to do back-end coding and get things out of systems that a front-end user cannot do. So I'm not a programmer, but I can code. Credit cards to me are the hardest thing for a business to do and take. The credit card industry is very broken. It's very fragmented. And you have many, many players, and the banks are sort of last to know, but they're the ones controlling it, and they're the ones that give you your money. So long story short, 13 years ago, I wrote my own code, and I reconcile and create transparency on credit card transactions. I decided as I've been consulting over the past few years, so I consulted for many years for Oracle independently, Oracle Financial Systems. In the past 14 years, I've been consulting for resellers of Microsoft products, particularly Dynamics Great Plains accounting systems. And I got asked by multiple companies to take my code and my product on a credit card reconciliation and create a product. So I have a product that reconciles credit cards called SimplySync, and that was my introduction to Divvee Social. So they asked me several months back to come in and pitch and show them what my credit card product could do for them and the savings it could do, the transparency it creates, and the manner in which they can effectively run credit cards, etc. As I went in, and they were in the transition of buying out their old partners and going from their old model to the new Divvee model, I became very intrigued by what this model was. So I've consulted hundreds and hundreds of companies, and I never endorse anybody's product at all. I go in and I pitch my product. I help them save money. I help them create efficiencies out of a business and give them reports so that they can make proper business decisions, but I don't buy or endorse products. So this is the first time that I've gone off and actually asked to be part of somebody's product and try to learn and understand what they did, because I was intrigued by the growth, the amount of people, the investors, et cetera, that were coming into this organization. So that was my introduction and how I came in. And through that, they began to ask me to do more than just doing the credit cards, but if I would come in and actually put an accounting system, which ultimately led to me being their CFO. So Can't remember the other questions. I know one of them was how do they make money or where does the money come from?
Yeah, Derrick, you were. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
So the overall concept of this is marketing and influencing, marketing in a positive manner in which advertisers feel like they are getting the biggest bang for their dollar in hitting real people and creating a tie to demographics different than traditional radio and TV spots. And so they've struggled for years as they began to go from pay-per-click on the internet to pay-per-install through mobile phones, which are becoming more and more and more popular. So people are gravitating to phones, and stats are showing that people are spending their time on mobile phones more than they are on the internet and more than they are on TV, etc. And there's been huge examples of that through Pokemon Go last year, and the amount of time people were spending. They were saying people spent more time per day around the world on Pokemon Go than was being spent on Facebook. So the demographics for advertisers have changed, and there's affiliate programs or influencers where they're looking for people to influence the product or the apps or whatever they're trying to pitch. And ultimately, as companies go to advertisers to create commercials, content, static ads, print media, whatever it is, the advertisers then give money to the ad networks to place that advertisement, and it goes out on a bidding process. The ad networks were trying to find influencer groups, affiliate groups, by which they could go out and place their content or have influence. And they came to a group in Salt Lake City, Utah, to create what they consider to be this matrix or this tree of people, not just individuals or companies like a Facebook where people are getting on for something else but don't know they're being pushed stuff, or Facebook is making money, or Amazon's making money, or Google's making money, but we want real people that know they're making money. And that's sort of how this concept was born. And so it's very, very intriguing. So the money that Divvee gets paid that allows them to then pay the commission is being paid by ad networks. Wow. Not the advertiser. Advertisers, so again, companies like Coke, Toyota, whatever insurance company, Frito-Lay, Pepsi, etc., they give money to advertising agencies. Advertisers then give money to ad networks. Ad networks then place that. So what they're talking about doing is now ad networks placing those ads or that content through influence groups is, again, how we'll get paid. So we're not getting paid directly by the apps or by the content makers. We're getting paid by the content placers.
Wow. Derrick, that's phenomenal. I was sharing with you that I never would have connected the dots as to how that works, and especially to be able to have a position in that arena, right? How in the world do you walk through the door of something so big that a guy like me who doesn't even understand a lot of what you just said, right? No, I'm getting it there. I'm getting it slowly, but we have the opportunity to step through that door until the end of this month for $25 to be a part of an absolute phenomenon. And that's when I ask you, well, what confidence can I have to go tell my mom and dad? Because they're my heroes in life. If I can share it with them, I can share it with anybody. And you just described it. Derrick, real quick, talk about the longevity. Are there other companies here? What is the significant role that they play with, let's say, Divvee Social? Because obviously people want to know, are we going to be around a while?
So a lot of this is confidential, proprietary, so there's a lot I can't share. What I can share is there's some very heavy investors in this and groups that are already been giving offers to purchase the company. The company's not for sale. Divvy's not going anywhere. But we have very large groups coming in because of this concept and the growth, and not only the growth, but the back-end structure that's being created in what's considered an MLM, but it's really not an MLM. MLMs have struggled in how they go out and do back-end support and provide their content and do everything from replication of sites, etc. Has always been a struggle. So even the software we've written is very proprietary, creating a stability that is different than most And we already have companies now seeking us out just for the back-end structure that we're creating. So with that, there's some very large players. What I can say is through the ad networks, the first product will be apps and downloading apps, but there's a negotiation of all sorts of products to go out and influence. So I'm not going to go make any promises or throw anything out, but other products or other things that would need influence are doing reviews on products, opening up an email, going out and downloading and watching, for example, a trailer of a movie, etc. And so these groups are looking for new ways to push it out. One of the reasons why they love apps, and it will be our first product, is unlike television, so through TV, they know a little bit about you, but not a whole lot. And ad networks are placing commercials through advertisers and have to pay more based on the popularity of a show. But that show's just going out through the airwaves. They don't know a whole lot about you. A phone is unique because, like a computer, it has a unique address, and it tells the advertisers or people tracking that phone something about the demographic, where the content was downloaded, etc. So they have different geographic and demographic information. Well, advertisers want the biggest bang for their dollar, and they're looking for geography, they're looking for demographics on income, male versus female, etc., and they can start to get some of that through phones that they cannot get through a commercial or a radio spot. They can a little bit radio if you're going out and you're just saying, hey, in this market, in this city, I want to go blast it. TV, it's hard to do that because TV goes through the airwaves and just shows across the nation or the world or whoever's on satellite. So, but there are people, Pepsi is a company who is moving a lot of their marketing dollars off of traditional TV into solely internet, YouTube, and doing email campaigns, email launches, and trying to do stuff with download of apps. Well, very few people go look at emails, and so emails get a very low response. So that'd be an example of something they're looking like a group for us to go out to help in an email campaign popularity, or at least an open rate that changes and influences the marketing that they're trying to spend. So it's pretty intriguing what's out there. So we haven't even begun to see the beginning of what advertisers and these ad networks are putting in front of Divvee and negotiating based on the success of how these apps will work.
Wow. Yeah, Derrick, that's amazing stuff. I know that what little we know, actually we know a whole lot more, but now it's so great to be a part of it, especially be here in the beginning. Derrick, if you don't mind, we have a couple people on the phone, great leaders, guys that have had great success in the past. Going to ask a couple of questions if that's okay, and then we'll let you run. I know you're busy. First guy we're going to go to, if it's okay, is Dr. Randy Palmer out in Fresno. Randy, say hello to Derrick and ask him your question real quick, buddy.
Hi, Derrick. Good evening. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Thanks. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for being on the call for all of us. We really appreciate it. We're eagerly anticipating the call, so thank you so much for being on. Question I have is, are we still rock solid on the launch date of January 10th, and then will that be preceded by a beta testing period still?
So we were hoping to have a beta testing period before the 10th. It still looks pretty rock solid that January 10th will be the date of launch, but it will also be part of the period of the beta test instead of beta testing happening before. So one of the things, and I think they've been fairly public in sharing this, so I can share a little bit now, we were partnered with what was considered to be premier back-end replicating software in the MLM industry. So we were going out with our technology, but the enrollment being handled by a third party. The growth that Divvee has already experienced was crashing their servers and their product on a daily basis. And so
imagine that.
Where we thought we could go into another product, which is the download, and go into beta testing, what we had to do is shuffle and recreate. That's why there was a dark period where we took it down. Literally taking all the content and everything off of somebody else's server systems and recreate internally all of that because they could not handle the growth, and yet we weren't that big at the time, and so we knew this was going to be a future problem with our growth, and so we had to take the bull by the horns and move it. So that changed the beta testing period, but we are still going full force for a January 10th launch of the Rank and Share program.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Derrick. Hey, real quick, Greg Baker in Tampa, Florida. Meet Derrick Schutz, CFO of Divvee. Got a question for you. Fire away, Greg.
Okay, thank you. Derrick, thank you very much for being on this call. Like Dr. Randy said, we really appreciate the time. Your last answer kind of leads right into my question. Can you speak to the scalability of the servers and the locations where the servers are going to be based at?
So great question. So that is another reason why we left this third-party partner. They only had servers in Utah at a professional hosting site, but they were not replicated throughout the world. And we were already bursting the bandwidth with just a few thousand people a day. On some of our large days of enrolling 8,000 to 10,000 people, we were bringing it to its knees, and we were doing that with even a few thousand. We've been stress testing, which is why we moved away, and we've been watching that since we launched this, the reopen this past Friday. But we were stress testing it by putting over 2.5 million hits and enrollment forms happening per minute. So we stress tested to the millions per minute versus thousands per day in our previous vendor. And again, this is all our code, our stuff, our systems. We have gone out to create our own relationship with a professional hosting company in Utah. However, that company has 10 locations throughout the U.S. So we've created what's called virtual machines or copies. So it's an exact replica of our server that is now copied at all 9 through virtual clouds. But we have also replicated that all the way around the world, including China. So our version of our servers and that bandwidth is in multiple countries around the world. So it would be virtually impossible to take this down. Bandwidth, we can load balance and move that around. So far, with the amount of growth, so even on Christmas, we enrolled 19,000 people the other day. And with that, we still stress test that, or I believe we hit only 3% of our bandwidth, and so we still had 97% available, where again on our previous vendor at 19,000 one day, it would have just been up and down, crashing, etc. So far, it's holding up and appears to be great.
Wow.
Okay. Can you give us the name of that vendor?
The name of that vendor is FiberNet.
FiberNet, okay.
So it's a company called FiberNet.
Okay.
Wow. Derrick, 19,000 during Christmas, you said?
Yep. In 2 days of Christmas,
oh my gosh,
enrolled 19,000 as of this morning, so I won't give away too many numbers. But from last night when I was last in there to the meetings we were having this morning, we had 33,000 people pinging that enrollment. So it's just growing and growing.
Oh my gosh. What am I doing? I'm not sleeping now, and I'm oh wow. I'm slacking. Good night.
So the crazy part through all this, I'll share a few things. Again, I believe they've shared some of this. When the ad networks came to us with this concept, they asked us, with the people from their old model that had just been bought out, and they had about 3,500 members, so not very large. They said, can you get 2,000 more people by a January 10th launch date, therefore having between 5,000 and 6,000 people? That was the goal. We said, can we break that? Can we go higher? They said, the bigger you are, the better. But in order to get approved, et cetera, you need to have between 5,000 and 6,000. By the time we hit that date, we officially hit about 115,000 enrollees, or what we call influencers today. And so we'll probably be somewhere between 150,000 and 200,000 people. And yet the goal they set for us was between 5,000 and 6,000. So we far than exceeded their expectations, and they're extremely excited. So,
yeah, I would say so. Goodness gracious. Greg, great question. Derrick, thank you. One last question real quick. Mike Diamond, Big Mike up in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Mike, big producer. Say hello to Derrick. Ask him your question, buddy. Mike, Big Mike.
I sure will. I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yep,
I can, brother.
All right. Hey, Derrick, man. Awesome job, man. Awesome information. You did it to me. I'm gonna be upset at you. I'm gonna lose sleep again tonight. So anyway, thank you. My question, and I know you got to go real quick. It's about the partnerships that you have. Like I know we have partners with Disney and Best Buy, but the main one I wanted to have you touch on. You can touch on all of them, but the main one would be with Mitt Romney, Bain Capital. If you can, just go a little bit in depth of the type of relationship we have with him and what the function will be.
So it's actually, one of the relatives of Mitt Romney, who started Bain Capital, runs a huge fund here in Utah. And it's through that Romney group that they have come in. That group has been placed, I believe they have, and I don't want to misquote here, they have 2 funds, each for $500 million. So I believe they're trying to place $1 billion. Each one, they're allowed to go out and put that money in 3 companies. So Divvee is one of 3 companies of half, of their full fund. Again, there's sort of 2 funds. Of one of the funds, Divvee was one of the 3. Through that group, they have just tons of people, from diplomats that are helping us get licensing that we need in foreign countries to CEOs of companies and organizations that these guys are able to walk into and create the contracts and the ability for us to go negotiate at this early stages that would normally take a company of our size and early growth years before we're having these conversations. They've been instrumental in some of these pivotal conversations. And so anyhow, that's what I can share. How they split that, the equity you have in there, that's all confidential information, but they do have equity in the company. I will share that.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Mike, great question. Derrick, when can we access the back office? Do you know? Do you have any idea, brother?
We're hoping, but I don't know. Now that we've got the enrollment kicked back out, working through some last final bugs on that. Now we're working through the content to create the back office and create the dashboards and numbers, et cetera. And we're trying to target this weekend. So I'm hoping by Friday.
Oh, good.
Keep your fingers crossed, but hopefully sooner than later.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, when that happens, will the marketing tools be back there as well? And we'll let you go here, buddy. I know you got a lot going on.
That I don't know. I don't have a lot to do with the videos, et cetera there. What I can say is we have people in filming every day. These guys are going off and doing shoots and working on content, but I'm not part of that, so I don't know where they're at and how close they are to launching that. But I am part of the content, the dashboards, et cetera. I'm working on the matrix and the trees and making sure they're pristine, they're clean, that everybody's where they should be, and then launching that so that we can give everybody their stats. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Friday is the target.
Wow. Yeah, awesome. Derrick, one last question. I promise I said a lot of people are asking about the international platform. Like, let's say somebody from Australia wants to join, which you have some people that have. How does that work? Do they download the apps, they get points, and then they redeem that for what? Do they have gift cards like equivalent to a Costco, Sam's, Walmart stores, like in where they live? Is that how that's going to work? Do you know? Can you speak to that or no?
So there's a lot that's happening internationally, and that's part where this group tied to the Romneys or the Romney investment have been helpful because of the aid they're giving us. So when you get into the international, it gets very interesting. For example, in the U.S., anybody who is getting income, commissions, points, et cetera, over 600 has to be 1099. In Mexico, it's 50,000. So it's knowing what each of those are, so that we know the rules of when we're taxing somebody or not. And so there's just a lot that goes into the international, as well as the licensing, so that we can legally have somebody in there and pay them. So in the meantime, you can get somebody internationally, they can enroll under you, you will be paid a commission for their efforts. With the new site, we're launching it so that now when you go pick a country, they can actually go and enroll that in what their country looks like, where on the previous vendor, everything had to be enrolled to the U.S. It was U.S. addresses, et cetera. That has been done. So they can actually enroll internationally. We can track that now. There's still a lot going on with their stuff. But, yeah, as you mentioned, the Reward Center will be geographically specific to where you live, and the offers and the product you'll be able to get. So.
Oh, fantastic. Now, people that enroll for free, they can be of any age, is what we understand. And if you want to be an influencer, the age is 18. Is that correct?
So 18 to be an influencer, get paid. You can be any
Right.
age to download, but now we're hearing that still in the U.S., that points, et cetera, is considered income. So we're trying to come
Right.
up with other possible ways we do it. So
I got you.
the logic initially before I joined was, hey, credit cards, they can give you rewards, money back, all sorts of different stuff, and you don't get taxed for that. The difference is with a credit card, you're purchasing something and it's a rebate. Rebates aren't taxable because they're just giving you a discount on a product. The points, et cetera, here are not rebates. It is income. You're being paid for the labor, the downloads you're doing, and so it is taxable. So even the points, as we're looking at it and we're playing with the lawyers and all the people trying to figure out, even the free members, if they're getting that, and we've got, say, a 10-year-old doing it, are we going to have to go 1099 10-year-olds? Or are we going to go 1099 parents? How does that work?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there may be changes. We're still getting through the legalities, the taxing rules, as well as the licensing rules of that. So the intent was, under the old logic of them thinking, hey, this is like rebates on credit cards. This is not a rebate program. This is a earnings program where, again, you're getting points, rewards, and commissions for the labor you're performing in a download. In the future for other stuff like opening emails, watching trailers, et cetera. And so,
Okay.
so there's still bugs being worked out on that, or I shouldn't say bugs, but finalities and details to figure that out. But theoretically, what you're saying, yes, I don't know if I want it.
Yeah. The commissions are paid once a month. Is that correct?
To start, it'll be once a month because of the way we get paid. Eventually, as it gets going, it will be a every week thing. So each Friday, you will get your commission. So the goal is to get to a weekly commission.
Goodness gracious.
Wow.
Derrick, we have other questions, but we're going to let you go. I know that you are absolutely running like a thoroughbred over there. Derrick, thanks for the time. Thank your precious wife, Shauna, for communicating with Mia and making this possible for our group. It's very, very special to all of us. And, brother, we are lit up. So, Derrick, unless there's anything else you want to anything else you want to share, we'll cut you loose here, brother. I appreciate you very much.
You have, my wife is awesome, and she's great friends with Mia. So if you guys have questions, other stuff, if you want to gather those together and work those up through her, then I can go and try to answer some of those and get those sent out as well. But don't hesitate to try to get some of those questions asked or funnel them up through me and my wife, so Shauna.
No, that's terrific. We may aggravate you, but buddy, we're going to be an efficient group in the end.
No, this is great, and I want to be responsive, but it is just go time. So literally putting in 14 to 16-hour days to get this thing to launch and hit our deadline. So
Derrick, thank
it's not
you,
a lot.
God
not
bless
one to
you.
be on these calls, but. All right.
No, we appreciate it much. Thank you so much, Derrick. Have a great night.
Well, happy holidays, and appreciate you allowing me to be part of the call.
Oh, listen,
thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you, Derrick.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Bye.
And guys, so with that said, wow, a lot of information to digest. I told you, I told a few people, I was going to put it on our chat group there at Facebook, but I don't know. I'll have a hard time sleeping, digesting this one.
None of us just tonight, Dan. Nobody sleeps.
Yeah.